All right, we're going to do keyboards. The track starts off with an arpeggio. And that is, I believe it's Analog Lab 5, and I see I have rendered the track, so you won't see anything, but I put this channel strip on just to show what I would typically do. So this is a piano preset, and I've modified it a bit, but it's got a roll-off at 200 hertz. And sometimes I'll take that up depending on the synth patch. Synthesizers tend to eat up a lot of headroom and a lot of audio information. So I typically roll them off below 200, 180 hertz, all the way up until like 340 sometimes. It's also got a high-pass filter on at 50 hertz to make sure there's nothing down there. And then on the original, before I rendered it, I'm sure there was a mid-boost at 800 of probably 4 or 5 dBs, and then another one at 2.5 kilohertz, and I'm sure that was 4 or 5 dBs. And then I probably just put a room reverb or the plate on it. And then following that, I have a SY99 piano and string. And that is a preset. It is PreSonus piano preset, and I've dropped the mids down a touch. There, it's at 5 dBs at 800 hertz, and 6 dBs at 2.5 kilohertz. And we have the same roll-off at 200 hertz, and in this case 40 hertz, which could go up to 50 easily. And then when we get into the second verse, there's another arpeggio. And that is a Roland JDXI. I forget what sound it is. It's one of the analog patches within that synth. And what do we have here? Yep, channel strip. This is the organ preset, and it looks like I've modified it a bit. It's rolled off high pass at 100 hertz and 1.8 dB boost at 900 hertz and a 4.5 dB boost at 4.1 kilohertz. I use the plate reverb on this. I think you'll just see a black screen if it comes up. I could see the plug-in, but I don't think you will. I think Arturia has some sort of algorithm to block it out from a screen capture. And also a hall reverb, and the large exploding hall is throughout the track. Then the last synth is the out chorus, and that is a pad. That's the Novation V Station. I probably use that same organ preset and maybe rolled off the low end up to 250 hertz or so. And I'm sure I put a hall reverb on it. I've rendered this out with effects, so there's nothing showing up in the channel strip. Also in the out chorus, that arpeggio that was in this second verse is now an octave higher, and usually I do that in the out choruses. I'll either bring the pad up an octave, or in this particular case, the arpeggio. Anything to give that a little bit of a lift to that last chorus. And then I said I was going to do this in a second video, or a separate video, but I'm going to do it here. It's going to be a little ear candy that was in the second verse, and that occurs in some holes in the vocal when the vocalist isn't singing. Lights break through the dawn. Let's just isolate that. And it's just a reversed synthesizer patch, but I reversed the audio so it swells up. Also, speaking of swells in the bridge, there are two, and they occur at the beginning of the bridge, and then it's a sweep down effect. I was an EDM producer, as I mentioned, so this is kind of a holdover from those days. And then it builds into the last chorus with a sweep up. Now you can use anything to do, to achieve that effect. A lot of times I'll use a synthesizer and ramp the pitch up from like a very low octave and slowly ramp it up into a super high octave. So it has sort of a siren effect. And then you kind of tuck that way underneath, and it's more felt than heard, but you can sense that something's about to happen. And in this case, it's the last chorus. So let's just hear that bridge. Think I'll have another drink, 'cause it'll give me time to think. So you hear those swells, but they're not in your face. They're back in the mix, and you just kind of feel them more than you hear them, which is a nice effect. Okay, so that's it for the keyboards. I'll see you in the next video.